and I'm going to jump over their piece, and then they are probably going to jump over me, but I'm just going to show you an example of how that works. So I'm going to select this piece, and then jump over this way. Hello everybody, this is Tekka, and as you saw in the beginning, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going over a checkers plugin for Bukkit. Now what this plugin is called is checkers. So what it does is allows you to play checkers in your Bukkit server, similar to the chess plugin, which I did a video on quite a while ago, and it was actually developed by the exact same person. So you know that it's going to be a great plugin and that it's going to work very, very well. So I'm going to give you a quick rundown of the configuration as well as jump into the game and show you how it generally works. So let's get started by downloading this plugin. So I'm going to go to the recent files right here, download the latest version, download the checkers.jar. I'm going to keep that file. I'm going to drag it on over here, minimize this, open up my plugin folder right here, drag and drop that in there, and then I'm going to go and run my server. So once that completely runs and everything is open, I will be able to jump into the configuration file and show you how everything works. So we're going to go into our plugins, and in the meantime there will be a checkers folder when this decides to completely load. There it is. So we have board styles, and I'm going to be going over these in a different tutorial. I will be going over how to create your own board and how to import each individual board if you need to. So that'll be a future tutorial. I'm going to mainly focus on the config YML. There's not much you could do in the AI YML or the time controls YML. If you want more information on those, there will be links in the description to the pages on how to mess with those. So I'm going to open the config YML with Notepad++ and go down. First we have the AI, so you can accept undo offers. So this will make it so the AI will accept if you want to undo something. So you can set that to true or false, and you have the max AI games that somebody can play, and the minimum move weight. You can also change the name format, and the lose on fail, you can set that as true or false. And then we have the auto teleport. So this will make it so when you join a game, you'll automatically teleport to that game. I recommend you keep that as true. That'll make everything move quicker and simpler. And then we have the auto delete. So after 15 seconds, when the game is finished, it'll automatically delete all the pieces on the board and make it so somebody can start a new game. If not started, so if you create a game but nobody starts playing the game, after a minute and 30 seconds, the game will be erased. And running 28 days, you could change that to whatever you want. Then we have auto start, so when a game is created, it will automatically start it. You can set that as true or false. You can broadcast the results to the server so everybody can see who won, and the colored console will add colors into the console. Next up we have a list of effects, so when the game is won, it's going to play the sound. Name of the sound is Enderman Death, and there are going to be a bunch more. So for example, when you move a piece, it's going to play the item pickup sound. When the piece is captured, it'll play an explosion. When the game is won, it will be a level up sound. And when the piece is selected, it will play the note 6 sound, and much more. You could also do the teleport in effects and teleport out effects, and you could change the volume of the sounds of those effects. Then we have flying, so you can allow or disallow flying while in games. You could do captive, you could set that to true or false. Auto, you could set that to true or false if you want them to automatically be flying. You have the upper limit, so how high they're allowed to go. Outer limit is how far out they're allowed to go. The fly speed and the walk speed is customizable. I believe it's 0.2 through 1. 0, well 1.0 is the max, I believe. And then we have forfeit timeout, so after 5 minutes it will forfeit the game. The local, I recommend you keep that as default. Log level, you can set what you want logged. And we have max move without capture, so the max amount of moves without a piece being captured. You can set that to whatever you want. And then we have MC status, you can set that to true or false, and open invite cooldown, so if you invite somebody, you'll have to wait this long until you can invite another player. And then we have the pager, you can set how much lines that will do. And then you could do protection, so you could do no building, no burning, no creatures, no explosions, no damage, and no PvP. You could set that to all true or false. It's all true by default, and I recommend you keep it all true by default unless if you want some weird PvP thing going on. That is completely up to you. And then we have stake, so you can set that the default of that. You can set the increments, set the max, and set the smallest increment. You could do set teleporting to true or false, and time control. You could do default, which is none. You could do warn seconds. And lastly, we have the wand item. So right now it's currently you can use anything by the star. But for example, if I wanted them to use a stone block, I would put stone in there, and so on and so forth. I recommend you keep it like that. Makes it easier. But if you want people to use like a stick, you could do that. Alright, so when you're all done with that, you can save it and close it out. And then you are ready to jump into the game and test it out. You can set up your permissions and things like that. So I'm now going to jump on into the game. Alright, now I'm in the game, so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to show you how to create a board, some extra commands, and how to get a game going. So first things first, I'm going to create a board, and to do that you're just going to want to type in checkers, create, board, B-O-A-R-D, and then give your board a name. So I'm just going to call it board 1. Now there's other styles, and you can have custom boards and things like that, but I'm going to be getting into all that in a different tutorial that will go over creating custom boards. So we're just going to create our board, and it's going to left click on a block to create it, right click to cancel. So I'm not sure exactly what way it's going to go, so let's just pick a random block. Let's click on this one right here. And there we go, it created our board, so it creates it in that direction for future reference. I'd recommend doing this on a flat space so you know exactly what you're doing. So here's our board, it's automatically created. I'm going to go over here so everything renders out. Apologize for the lag. Alright, now I'm going to go over some of the list commands. So we're going to do checkers, list, and then board. And that will go over the boards, the location of the boards, the style, and if there is a game going on in that board. And then you could also do that same command but put the name of the board for a detailed listing of the board. You could also create games by going to this and right clicking and messing around with some things on here. So you could do most of the things by command, but if you're putting this on your server, you're probably going to want your players to take advantage of these signs. So I could invite players, I could invite anybody, which will send an invite to everybody. You could start the game if you want to. You could get some board information, so if I right click on that, it will give me all the information on the board. You get some game info, which will give me information. So as you can see, it says my name, I'm black versus nobody currently, and there are commands where you could select if you want to be black or white, and there's a bunch of things you could do. So I could also invite people either by using the sign up there, or I could do checkers, invite, and then a player name, and that will invite the player. But if you don't want to invite anybody, you could do checkers and then start, which will start the game, or you could go ahead and use the sign, which I'm going to do right now. So I'm just going to right click on start game, and I've started the game against the computer, and it will say move a piece, so look at it while holding anything, and left click. So I believe I'm this side, so I'm going to grab this piece, I'm going to click on it. So I've selected this piece, and I'm going to move it right there, so it's left click. So that is how you move. And now the computer will move, so as you can see they moved right there. And I'm going to jump over their piece, and then they are probably going to jump over me, but I'm just going to show you an example of how that works. So I'm going to select this piece, and then jump over this way. And as you can see, just like I talked about earlier, it will do the sound effects. And I can select another piece, jump over, and he should jump over me if he's smart. And this is how you play checkers in Minecraft. This is the basics of it. There are a lot more in-depth commands and things you could do. If I wanted to end the game, I could just type in checkers, offer, draw, which will send a draw to either the player going against or the computer. As you can see, the computer has declined my draw offer. If somebody offers you a draw, you either do, I believe it's checkers yes or checkers no, and there are buttons over here that you could do. So I believe right here, you could offer a draw right here. So if I right click that, they'll deny it. I could reassign and undo my last move. So I could also do checkers reassign, which is a command, but I'm going to resign from this game just by right clicking on this sign. And it says the computer has beat Brandon Hopkins, resigned from checkers, and in just a moment, whatever you have it configured to, the entire game board will reset, and I could get the board info, and I could do a bunch more. So the game at Brandon Hopkins has auto-deleted, so now I could come over here and start a new game just by right-clicking right here, Well, right-clicking changes if you want black or white, and then I could create a game by clicking on it, and I could proceed to move on. So that is the basics of this plugin. There'll be a tutorial on creating custom boards coming up within a few weeks. Hope this tutorial has helped you out in some sort of way. There will be much more information, a complete list of all the commands, and how to use everything in the description. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Hope it has helped you in some sort of way. Please comment, rate, and subscribe, and goodbye.